Hello and welcome to, finally, April 1990. It's You Know It, with me and Nick.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm alright. My name's Durs, by the way.
And I'm Nick, by the way, and we're ultra excited because it's the Wrestlemania month.
It's the month we've been talking about since January.
Yeah.
I think as soon as we started this podcast, we were like, oh yeah, but WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
So we're finally here. It is April of 1990, and we've got some stuff going down. The Strangeways Riot takes place in Manchester. 25-day prison riot. Guys up on the roof.
I remember it. Well.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was too young to remember this bit,
Yep.
so this is new. Well, it's not news, but it's I wasn't around to remember it. But of course, this goes on 25 days, and ends up with like riots breaking out in Bristol as well, and I think Birmingham. Was it Birmingham?
Spread
as
over
well?
the country.
Yeah. Oh, Cardiff. Sorry, Cardiff and Bristol. So it ends up kind of becoming this huge thing across the nation in the end. But yeah, I don't know how they got up on the roof, but you know, they managed it.
It looked like it was a very old building, so
yeah, I think they threw a lot of the roof down as well from the looks
all
of
the
it.
tiles.
So I'm guessing it got replaced shortly after. But yeah, crazy riots. We had an earthquake in Bishop's Castle, 5.1 on the Richter scale. That's pretty serious for England.
It's serious for England. I think when we get to the wrestling, though, it's probably even more serious earthquake.
There's a much bigger earthquake on the horizon for April of 1990. We have our very first ALDI. Opens in the UK.
That's really early. I didn't expect that.
I thought the same, and I saw this listed, and I was like, really? Yeah, apparently ALDI in the UK was April of 1990. That's because I thought it was like 2000s.
Yeah, or late 90s at least. I was saying
maybe like 97.
You're pushing. I'll be there. You're still lying to me.
Yeah, but apparently so. So ALDI actually opened their first chain in Stetchford, Birmingham. In April of 1990. I guess it probably didn't take off massively as a chain until later, I guess, which is why we didn't really notice over here. But yes, we have some Ulster Defence Regiment soldiers unfortunately killed in an IRA bomb in County Down. Labour have a 23-point lead over the Conservatives in the latest Maury poll, and Stephen Hendry,
a young-looking Stephen Hendry,
a very young, the youngest ever world snooker champion at 21.
It's one of those sports when young people do really well, isn't it? It's
young
strange.
and old people. I guess it's kind of one of those things that is just a great equalizer, isn't it? Because it's not something that you need physical
experience.
Yeah. I mean, you just just go to the pub, which British people do well. Go to the pub and
get
play
the coins out, line them up.
That's it. You got. Do you think he did that before the game? He had to put the pound down, and he was like, "Right, winner stays
on." A lot
on."
of money back then, wasn't it? A pound.
A pound, yeah.
Probably 50p or something on the table.
10 pence.
Steve Davis, here's my 50p.
Winner stays on.
Yeah.
That's how snooker is.
Jog on. John Virgo. Yeah, put quid down.
Have you got any other news before we get into the silly stuff?
I've just all my news is pretty much silly and TV related.
Well, that's fine. Let's do that. Did you want to start with TV?
It's all mixed in, my news. So if I go with on the 3rd of April, ITV airs the first Tuesday documentary. It's called Sonia's Baby. It's about a woman's fight with the medical establishment to have a test tube baby using her late husband's sperm. Yeah,
I mean, in 1990, that's pretty revolutionary and crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like it's a human right, but back then it's like, I'm afraid you can't do this.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, we had like later in the 90s, we'll have Dolly the sheep and all that kind of stuff, and
Dolly the sheep.
Crazy stuff on the horizon in terms of what we can do with science and the impact and morality of all of that stuff.
And it's still going on. 6th of April. You know what happened on the 6th of April? We got matching notes.
I think we've got matching notes. Are you going to tell me about the hit Australian children's TV show?
Round the Twist.
Round the Twist. I loved Round the Twist as a kid.
Do you know what the best thing about Round the Twist is? The theme tune.
Yes.
Is I don't know. I was thinking about it before I came over into the room.
Before you came over, we live in the same building, but sure,
same flat. Is a top 10 theme tune. I know we're quite limited to what we've said the best so far.
Well, we need to. I think we need to.
We need a chart.
We need to subcategorize as well, because I think you can't put, you can't put cartoon themes in with like just kids TV themes in with soap TV themes. They all need their subgenres, and I agree in the sphere of live action kids shows. Round the Twist is a top 10 banger of a theme tune.
Would you say if you put up against Quantum Leap?
No.
Or Baywatch?
No.
No.
It's not there. But then again, I'd put those in a separate.
Yeah.
It's more of a family oriented.
Yeah, we're gonna have to write these down, aren't we?
All right. We're gonna make a list, and one day I'll tell you what we'll do, Nick.
Yeah.
We'll say we'll do this, and we'll never do it because neither of us will be bothered. Put together a Spotify list, playlist,
easy
of the best themes.
Oh, I know what they are already.
Well, let's do it.
They're in my head. It's too early though.
It's too early. We're 4 months into the 90s. We can't decide yet. We got a little way to go, but eventually I think we should have a Spotify playlist of the top themes.
Yeah.
So we also have the Nelson Mandela International Tribute. Obviously, we've already covered him being released. We now have the International Tribute, which is airing on BBC One. Held at Wembley Stadium, and I believe Nelson Mandela himself turned up.
He did a little speech.
Yeah,
I had a look at the people that were playing, see if I can remember anybody. Tracy Chapman, Fast Car.
Yeah,
I remember her. Peter Gabriel was there.
Yeah, I was going to say Peter Gabriel was the name that jumped out at me.
Patti LaBelle, I recognise her name.
Yeah. Anita Baker, I recognise the name, but I'm like, I'm not sure who
she rings my bell. I don't know.
Maybe.
Is that a disco banger? We'll have to Google it afterwards.
Well, yeah, maybe.
That's how far advanced and like how much knowledge I've looked into that concert. I've done some more research. Really.
I was more excited about You've Been Framed.
Yeah.
which debuted. Now, I don't know if anyone anywhere else outside of the UK knows what You've Been Framed is. But basically, like nowadays we do reality TV, which is like the cheapest form of TV in the world. We just get idiots on the TV for free, or we pay them very little, and we film them, and we film their city lives and put it on TV, and that's cheap TV. Well, back in the 90s, the cheapest form of TV, I think, was You've Been Framed, which was basically
250 quid a video.
250 quid a video. You send in your video of funny stuff. Basically internet memes before they were internet.
People falling over.
Yeah, people falling over mostly. And you'll get paid 250 quid and we'll make a fortune off of it because it's one of the highest rated shows in the early 90s in that time slot.
And that 250 quid never went up at all.
No, it didn't. They didn't do it with inflation. No.
My cousin was on You've Been Framed. I don't think
was he? Was she in the video or was she filming the video?
She was the video, the person that filmed.
Oh.
She didn't get any money though. She was like doing like some karate in the background or practicing.
Yeah, it's not £250 for everyone in the video.
No, it's just a filmer.
It's just the videographer.
Yeah.
Won £250.
So I think she broke her ankle or sprained her ankle.
See, if I broke my ankle and you filmed it and got 200, I would want that money. I'd be like, but I'm the one with the broken ankle.
Yeah, give me your 250 quid now. I want
yeah.
I want it right away. Well, I don't know if you also got this in your news.
I have, because we've copied the same news.
Have you got about BBC One Air's Wogan on Ice?
No.
Were you not,
no, we don't have the same notes.
You've missed this then.
Wogan on Ice? What?
See,
hang on, was Wogan?
Wogan's not on ice.
Oh.
But he's talking about ice skating.
Oh, well, that's rubbish. The title is amazing.
You're aware of Jane Torval and Christopher Dean. Do you remember Torval and Dean?
Yeah.
Well, they had great success during the 84 Olympics. And they're appearing in the UK for the first time since 1985. So this is 5 years. They've not been on there. And I've watched it before, and it's quite frosty between them. It doesn't seem right. He seems a bit controlling.
Oh no! Yeah, that was scandal pending.
I don't know. It could have been, but it might just been like the top professional, and he wants to hit.
Yeah.
Those 10s out of 10s.
I guess those high levels of athleticism. There's probably a bit of rivalry.
Yeah.
We have in this month French and Saunders. They've got the episode with the sketch Modern Mother and Daughter, which basically would become
Absolutely Fabulous.
Absolutely Fabulous, which we will get to 2 years from now.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a bit quicker if we speed things up,
No. 2 years in time. Yeah, we'll probably get there sooner. But I mean 2 years into 1990. And we also have the final ever episode of You Bet, with Bruce Forsyth. But don't worry, Matthew Kelly will be there to take over.
Yeah. That's really early in my head, that is. Yeah.
But Bruce is moving on. He'll find some other work. Don't worry. Brucey's always in work.
What's he going to be like?
It's like Les last time.
Oh, I think he takes over Generation Game from Les, doesn't he? Like,
I think he does.
Get out of Les. I'm having this one.
Yeah.
You go and do Bullseye with Jim or something like that. And there's also, do you remember like the good old children's TV on that Saturday? BBC launched a new one. It replaced.
Is it the news?
No, there's no news. They were
my God.
actually decent. They replaced 2 shows on the waterfront and Up to You, which is UPTU, with the 8:15 from Manchester. Do you know where they got the name from? It starts at 8:15 and it was from Manchester.
Brilliant.
Basic.
Brilliant.
They just got that.
I mean, it's factually accurate.
It's like what we're going to call this, like Saturday morning fun time. That 8:15 from Manchester.
It's a good way to ensure that they don't change your time slot.
Exactly. It's like when we
did that's the time that we can't have it on at any other time of the day.
It's a bit like when we were trying to come up with a name for that 90s night. It was forever. It was just called that 90s night in our heads.
Like,
and we ran out of time, so we called it that 90s night.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's factually accurate. I think that's fine.
It is. Also, Mr. Frisk won the Grand National. That's the name of the horse, not the rider.
Yeah.
Broke Red Rum's record by 14 seconds.
Wow.
And obviously, with the Grand National, horses don't always finish for various reasons. There's one called Roller Joint. Roller Joint. Why would you call a horse Roller Joint? Is that a horse's name? Like,
I don't know.
It's like a typical British thing. It's like Roller Joint.
I guess that's what.
Why would you call it that? Unfortunately, he passed away after the.
Yeah, well,
they got put down. Whatever phrase they want to use these days.
Shot.
Exactly. Yeah. Stone Roses are fined £6,000 for causing damage and vandalism to their former record label.
That's a drop in the ocean for them, surely. Yeah. Back then.
I don't know.
Stone Roses, I imagine that six
grand. It cost like $3,000 for like.
What's that? $12,000.
Yeah,
something like that.
But like, didn't Dot Cotton win 10 grand last month in EastEnders?
She did. They could have spoke to Dot.
Yeah, got the money off Dot.
She spent it all though on her son.
We don't know. We might get there in a little bit.
I reckon.
And also, British Sky Broadcasting (BSB) officially launches in the UK on the 29th of April.
Which is confusing because my notes had it last month and also this month.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
I wonder if it's like the big official launch.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, either way, the satellite contender has arrived in the UK.
Yeah, big competition going.
Tell me all about the soaps, Nick.
Are you ready for soaps?
I am ready for soaps.
Let's hit you with like EastEnders, right?
Go on. This is the big one. This I do not remember this storyline. The nude statue storyline.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll cover this in minimal doubt.
No. Cover it in great detail. This is fantastic.
A statue turns up in EastEnders in the square where all the stuff happens by the pub where everything happens.
Yep.
It's a statue of Diane.
Yep.
Don't know if Diane is Frank's daughter.
Well, we covered her because she was homeless and living on the streets.
Yeah.
And this is why. She was desperate for money.
Yeah.
And this guy took advantage.
Yep.
And this quote unquote artist.
Yep.
Now, I do know a slight spoiler because I looked up the character.
Yeah.
Right. On Wikipedia or like, you know, I don't know, what the Wikipedia equivalent of EastEnders. Yeah. I found that.
Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia, right? And on that, it lists the character's status as alive. So I know that Frank didn't kill him.
Yeah, Frank wanted to kill him.
I know he did. I can imagine.
I can imagine Frank got there, got all EastEnd on him and like, ooh, you mug.
Getting all EastEnd on him.
It's basically, they spent the entire month with this guy turning up, I want to do some more artwork with you. I want to do more work with you. Running away from Frank. In the end, Diane goes up to him and says, I've done some artwork. I want to show you because I want to be an artist as well. And he's like, nah, you're not good, love. You're only good to be a model. And that's how he sort of fades off into the sunset. That's really his...
So hang on a minute. Diane is run away.
Yeah.
She becomes homeless.
Yeah.
And she's desperate for money. This guy takes advantage of her, makes all this art, presumably makes some money off of it.
Yeah, I doubt she did though, did she?
She made no money off of it, but then he just gets away with it. Is that the end of the storyline?
Yeah.
He just gets away with it.
You don't get
brilliant.
He didn't get like a clip around the ear from like Frank or anything like that.
Didn't get his just desserts, didn't get anything.
The Mitchells didn't turn up and rough him up.
Right, I would have expected.
Even the Mitchells, because they were like they're the guardian angels of the square back then, weren't they?
They're the they're the dark heroes, aren't they? They're the anti-heroes of
like Batman.
Yeah, a bit like Batman, only bold and
bald man.
Bold man.
And there's two of them.
Yeah.
Well, it was all kicking off right the entire month for EastEnders. It's a busy EastEnders month.
Yeah.
Well, we've got this. This was
Well,
going on.
you see, we've talked about this because you've got Christmas and New Year, huge.
Yeah.
Then you've got the lull, and we're coming back out now. We're coming out punching.
Because, like, obviously, Dot's got this 10 grand, and
Not for long.
Nasty Nick is back.
Yeah, of course he is.
And now he's trying to get her money, so he's like, I want to cook for your ma. So he's now started cooking for her, and she's eating this food. It's like, well, I wonder why he's cooking all this food for me. He wants to give her a good balanced diet.
Yeah.
So he's learning things to work. Living in prison, he learned how to cook. So we're going to come back to it later on in the month because other stuff's going on before we get to the end of the month.
I think I actually remember this storyline now.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it.
So
we'll talk about it off air, but I think I know where this goes. I've just remembered.
So Frank, I think, going back to Frank, he's
like,
having a rough
this food's
time.
delicious. I'm feeling a bit sleepy, but it's wonderful.
Yeah. So we're having a good time with Frank's not having a good time. Obviously, his daughter's back, but there's a nude statues up. But now he wants to give up the...
I mean, that is a... I mean, even for this sleazy weirdo, this is a pretty ballsy move to put a nude statue of her. Because the photo I saw... It's right in the square. Yeah, it's just like literally in the square where everyone can see it.
And how did he get it in the square?
I don't know. What are the logistics?
It must have been in a van or something, or like, how did he get like...
Got it dropped off with a crane.
And like then like get it in there making no noise, so they're all nosy as well. Someone would have seen him put it in there in the middle of the night.
I hope that statue is still somewhere, like the Rocky statue.
Yeah, but next to Arthur's bench or something.
Next to Arthur's bench, yeah.
But Arthur's still alive, so we can't talk about Arthur's bench
That's true.
So like Frank is a bit upset, so he's now going to give up the pub.
Oh,
but
no.
It's like, oh no, you've got like 12 months. So he thinks, oh, can you reduce it to 3? So that storyline's simmering in the background. Now we go back to Sharon and Michelle. So obviously Sharon's Dirty Den's adopted daughter, and Michelle, her best friend, was Den's lover.
Yeah.
So they go to the canal to watch the police divers searching for Den's body because Den's been offed by some mobsters.
Yeah.
Because he was a bit of a bad boy. They can't find him, so they come back out. Come back to the Vic. They're trying to talk Frank into extending his license. She says, oh, your old manager's gone. I'm the new manager. Stay with us. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. So that storyline keeps moving.
You do quite a good Frank impression, by the way.
Yeah, I want to do that bit when he puts his like fingers on his eyes, but no one can see it. Like he's, oh, like that.
I'll
We'll
film it. We'll film it at some point. We'll put a clip online.
So like Dot is still going like having this food with Nick. We started to notice Nick is making a different meal for himself than he's making for her.
Well, that's not suspicious.
It's weird, isn't it? That's obviously going to continue into next month as well. So we've not got a full story now, but we know what's going to happen.
That's so funny. That's the point of this show is to remember stuff, and that is just that storyline is just come into my head. I was like, oh, I actually remember this one. Yeah.
And now we're going back to Pauline and Arthur. Arthur's still alive. He hasn't got a bench yet.
No, he's still going.
Refused to go to Den's funeral. Sharon's done a runner. So now Michelle, who's their daughter, and has also got a kid by Den, who's her best friend's dad. We need a map, really, don't we?
It's some very complicated chart.
And that's that month for EastEnders. Obviously, next month we're going to have some more storyline with Dot.
Yeah.
When it's going to kick off with Dot. And if you think EastEnders has been exciting, you wait until you see what's going on in Emmerdale.
Is it the plane crash?
No.
Is it the bus crash?
No.
Is it No, because the car crash is way later. There are 3 exciting things that ever happened in Emmerdale, and I've just covered them. The helicopter crash.
No.
See? That's it.
You ready? So Bill tells Amos.
You're going to tell me the sheep gave birth or something.
No. Bill tells Amos he might get a fine because he feels like his poll tax form wrong.
Oh my God.
Which is quite topical because we had the poll tax riots a month before, didn't we?
They could have planned. I don't know how quickly in advance they filmed, but they might have done that on purpose. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, so obviously Amos and Henry own the Woolpack.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it starts getting really busy. All these tourists start turning up, and I'm thinking, why is everyone turning up at the Woolpack? It's a quiet pub. And they keep asking, where's the ghost? And I said, what ghost? We've heard you got a welcoming ghost. And they're like, no, there's no ghost here. And they got this.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. But
if I owned a pub, I'd be like, yeah, we've got a ghost.
But they've got a book, and in this book of all the local pubs, it says there's a welcoming ghost.
Right.
So Amos is having none of this. He calls the publisher.
He's like, I hate making money. Stop this immediately.
It's only a typo. It's welcoming host, but they put ghost.
Why would you argue against it?
I know, but
it's making your business a fortune.
I know, but it keeps going. So the Woolpacks are still busy with ghost hunters because obviously the book is still out.
Yeah.
And at the Woolpacks, like, because we're getting busy, Henry, who's Mr. Wilkes, I think, wants to buy a microwave. But Amos saying, no, we can't have a microwave in a pub. That's how it goes, really.
Yeah.
So during the month, Amos starts to believe there's a ghost in the pub.
Right, because of this typo. He's now convinced himself there is actually a ghost.
He keeps hearing noises, so he gets challenged by Seth, the guy with the moustache. Remember Seth?
Yeah, of course. Seth is about the only thing I remember of Emmerdale, right? Yeah. Because of his mustache.
It's a mighty fine mustache.
It is.
So he challenges him to stay in the cellar overnight.
Right.
Which he won't do, but like he says, he doesn't believe in ghosts. Right, there's about 2 weeks of them making noises in the building. It's just the building's a noisy building.
Yeah, wood expands and contracts with heat, and yeah.
And eventually, like the story just ends. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like they just end it and they don't talk about it anymore.
Sadly,
I know.
I bet there's loads of ghosts in there now.
Bet you is. Yeah, plane crashes, everything. Isn't it?
It's like helicopter, planes,
there's more
cars,
ghosts than
buses.
humans.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember Joe? Remember we talked about Joe the other month when he bought a motorbike? He bought a quad bike.
Yes, I do.
He nearly runs over someone on a horse. I don't know how you can run over a horse on a motorbike. Because horses are massive.
They are, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? And it's all kicking off as well. Frank, he's a big money man. He wants to take over control of Emmerdale or the whole village.
Uh-huh.
So he's going to build a caravan site and a golf course.
Okay.
But Amos fights him. They all fight him. Never happens.
No.
But that's the village sticks together.
Nothing interesting will ever happen on this farm.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all kicking off. I was going to do Coronation Street. Looked at Coronation Street. Not much went on.
I've got some news for you.
Go on, and you hit your news.
In Brookside.
Oh, yeah.
Someone called James Markham is killed in a car accident. I've no idea who he is. But that is an event that happened this month.
Was he one of the regular people?
I've no idea. But I don't remember him, so I'm going to assume that he's irrelevant. But he's dead. As of this month. Anything going on in Neighbours?
Right. Neighbours.
The way you reacted then says that something's gone down.
Oh, it's about as exciting as Emmerdale.
Oh, no.
See, there's nothing happening in Corrie that's worth even mentioning. So Neighbours.
It's all EastEnders at this point is ruling, right?
It is EastEnders. So Joe Mangle. Remember Joe Mangle?
Okay, how could I forget Joe?
It's pretty much like a Joe month.
Come on.
So Joe starts off the month. He gets himself into a deep, deep hole as he's broken a pot plant.
What was it? An antique or?
It was just a pot plant in the house.
Oh no!
It belonged to someone else.
He's in trouble now.
He's in trouble. Obviously, Mrs. Mangle, his mum,
couldn't possibly just go out and buy another one.
Mrs. Mangle left a couple of months ago because she got married, so he won't get in trouble. But he spends a whole month a bit distraught. Then his someone called Nolene runs off with someone called Toby. So his ex-girlfriend, I think, is Nolene, runs away from him, takes his kid. She eventually comes back, but that's about his level until Harold Bishop.
Do I remember Harold Bishop?
Yeah, you know.
I know it's too early. It's too early for that.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's too early for the tuba. And too early for falling in the sea. His daughter, Carrie.
Yeah.
She turns up out of the blue. Obviously, Harold's straight-faced, church-going, tuba player.
Can you do a Harold impression?
Oh, no, I can't.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'll try. I'll work on one.
Work on one, yeah.
I'll work on one.
So it's iconic.
His daughter is an eco-warrior.
Right, an eco-warrior in the early 90s. This should be good.
So she's obviously going to clash with Harold.
Of course.
All the time. But she makes eyes with Joe Mangle. They start a fling already.
She won't love him when she realises that he destroys plant pots.
Exactly.
Thus stopping plants' ability to grow.
Yeah, but Harold's not happy.
Or maybe she'll see it as him freeing the plant.
Yeah,
from its pot prison.
And now this plant's living a fresh new life.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be. You could be right there.
I don't think this storyline's going to go anywhere.
It's not. But Harold's obviously he's a bit shocked, really.
Yeah.
Because not only is Carrie an eco-warrior, she's got a daughter born out of wedlock.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Daughter's called Sky as well. Not named after Sky TV. Don't know, could be.
Maybe.
But it gets a bit annoying because they're getting Carrie and Joe now becoming very good friends.
Oh.
So Harold doesn't like this. So what Harold does, he thought he'll pop round, have a quick word with Joe just to make sure it's all going okay. Finds Joe in bed with Carrie.
Oh my goodness.
And they probably call him a fuddy-duddy. Because didn't Harold used to call
fuddy-duddy, yeah.
Also, during Neighbours that month.
And then he kicks a plant pot on the way out. Smashes another one.
Where's my plant plot? I lunged you. Also, there's everything that's gone on in Neighbours because it was 5 days a week. You had Paul was trying to buy Lassiter's, the old hotel chain.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a random thing to have, isn't it? Like a hotel.
It is. I guess they're working with what they got.
And everyone at work now, Harold had a coffee shop.
He did, yeah.
She's probably had a store. Helen had been unwell.
Oh no!
I think she'd had a stroke previously.
Oh good.
So the various people are looking after her. She's not happy that they're looking after her. She doesn't need looking after. Some sad news. There's a character called Katie. She had a rabbit called Rupert.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, Rupert died.
Oh goodness!
And it's very shocking. They had a funeral for Rupert. It's a bit of the episode. Then Rupert turned up. So we don't know who the dead rabbit was. We never find out who the dead rabbit is.
So, or do we know that it's definitely Rupert?
They definitely Rupert come back. So Rupert.
They did a DNA test. They're like, this is definitely Rupert.
So Rupert's got like a twin brother
who's dead.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be Robert or something. But so Rupert's brother, they buried him thinking it's Rupert. They probably forgot about him. Now Rupert's back. Probably just dug him back up and chucked him over the fence or something. Where they didn't actually care about Rupert.
Wow.
So that is my soaps roundup because, like I said, nothing much going on in Corrie. So
no.
Emmerdale, exciting ghost hunting. EastEnders, you got Nasty Nick. Eventually going to do something with Dot. Neighbours is a Pan Pot and an Eco Warrior. That was a 90s soaps. It's boring.
Yeah, it's boring at this stage, but it will pick up.
Yeah.
Even Neighbours, you know.
Yo, Neighbours. We've got some stuff coming up in Neighbours.
Snake in the toilet, all of those classic storylines.
There's some good storylines.
Certain animals having dreams. I wonder if Rupert turns up in the dream. Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
I want Rupert to have a dream now.
Rupert 1 or Rupert 2?
It'd have to be Rupert 1 because Rupert 2's dead.
Well, he could be haunted.
It could be like a flashback episode to Rupert 2.
Yeah, you find out the true story of what
Rupert
happened.
1 killed Rupert 2. Went on the run.
Maybe.
And now he came back.
Anyway, during April of 1990, there was this wrestling thing called WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
And this was the culmination of... I mean, for me, this was my WrestleMania as a kid.
Yeah.
My brother was all about Hulk Hogan. I was all about the Warrior. And we both, for Christmas one year, that's how serious it got.
Yeah.
My parents got my brother a framed picture of Hulk Hogan. I got a framed picture of Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Right?
Some good pictures.
Now, it was top. You probably know the picture.
The one, they've re-released it. It's the one of both of them together, like...
No, separate pictures.
All right.
But you probably know the poses.
Is it like Warrior, like clenching so you can see muscles across the chest?
Yeah.
Hogan ripping his shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I want that. I saw this online about 2 days ago. They're re-releasing all the old WrestleMania posters.
Oh, fantastic.
And they're doing the WrestleMania 6 one, Hogan and Warrior. It looks amazing.
That's great.
I'm like, it's 20 quid. Do I need that 20 quid or do I need that poster?
You need that poster.
Yeah.
20 quid's fine. That's reasonable if it's good quality.
That is where it's going, to be honest. I am going to get that poster at some point.
So, should we go through the card?
Let's do this. We'll have a little chat about each wrestler as well.
Sure.
So who you got first?
I've got Paul Roma defeating the Brooklyn Brawler.
That's a dark match, isn't
it? Probably is a dark match. In fact, it says there, I think, the D next to it suggests that it's a dark match. And we then have Rick Martel defeating Coco Beware by submission.
Boston Crab?
Mm-hmm.
Boston Crab.
Of course.
So what are your memories of those two wrestlers?
For me, I mean, the model was, it was
a great gimmick.
Great. And Coco, I mean, back in the day...
He had a parrot.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, I think when you're a kid, I've always said this, like, for me, wrestling was the most fun when it was all of these crazy gimmicks and silly stuff. And, a guy coming down with a parrot is going to be memorable to me.
Why didn't it ever fly away? Do you reckon they actually clipped it to that stick? Or?
Parrots are pretty well behaved if they're trained properly, so I imagine he was probably just chill.
Yeah.
Or he might not have been able to fly anyway. I mean, some parrots just, if he was like a disabled parrot or something, he'll just chill on him or something. I don't know. But it was always a cool visual, and it always stuck with me.
Jumped in the match and started attacking the model.
Yeah. like the snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad they didn't fight because that snake would have probably had the bird, wouldn't it?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Yeah. That would have been shocking. So following that, we've obviously got the Colossus Connection, which is
Andre the Giant and Haku.
Hardest man in the world. Well, one of the hardest men in the world. And obviously they got Bobby Heenan with him.
Mm.
And they're fighting Demolition.
Yeah, Axe and Smash at this point.
Great wrestling theme that is, Axe and Smash.
Yeah, still are not in the Hall of Fame. They sued the WWE, didn't they? Or one of them did for concussion. So whether they will ever... I think they should be, though, because they were a big part of this era. Yeah. Really big part.
They were like the WWF version of Legion of Doom, really, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously pretty soon we will get the Legion.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's this year.
It's later this year, isn't it? I want to say.
I've got a feeling that we got a heel turn coming out of Demolition at some point.
Yeah.
A heel turn is when the good guys turn bad.
Yes.
If you don't watch wrestling, you think of what you two talking about.
Anyway, we mentioned an earthquake earlier.
Yeah.
And match 4.
Earthquake
with Jimmy Hart defeats Hercules.
The wrestler, not the cartoon or the
Greek god. Yeah. Defeats Hercules in a singles match.
I love the Earthquake. He's great.
Me too. He was one of the great big men for sure.
He can move, didn't he? He was fast.
Well, he was like genuine like sumo wrestler at one point, wasn't he, or something?
He looked generally scary as well.
Yeah. He looked like a hard man you'd see down the pub that you just wouldn't that no one would mess with.
He's having a game of darts or playing snooker.
You just let him play those
skill,
darts.
does he?
No.
I always thought we were robbed of Earthquake versus Andre the Giant. I know they went
that
for
would
it,
have
but
been
they
amazing.
never did it.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. He did ultimately team up with the Giant's son.
Yeah.
Over in WCW.
Oh yeah, good old.
By
Paul
then he
White.
was like the Shark or something.
That's the thing. You never get your gimmick, do you? You can't take your gimmick with you.
No. What was he called?
Was he Shark Attack?
Shark Attack.
He had various animal names, didn't he? Like
the Shark Master.
Yeah. Did he feel like, oh, you're gonna be sharks, but this time you're gonna be like a monsoon or something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever closest to Earthquake that we can use.
Yeah.
Shatterproof or Shockwave or something. I don't know.
Anyway, moving on. Brutus Beefcake.
Yep.
He defeated Mr. Perfect with the Genius.
That was the first time I ever saw Mr. Perfect lose.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect
was perfect.
The best, maybe one of the best 80s, 90s gimmicks ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's those promos when he used to do the trick shots and all of that stuff. I used to love all of that. The gum.
The gum, I was going to say the gum, spitting the gum up.
So good.
Clicking it in the air. Then Bobby Heenan would always catch the gum.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
2 really good themes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think perfect. Shame he died so early because I think he'd still be going.
Yeah, I think I'd still certainly see him turning up at Rumbles.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, real shame. Speaking of shame people are gone, Roddy Piper versus Bad News Brown, ending in a double countout.
Yeah, and also a bit of controversy as well.
Oh, go on.
Do you know the story about the face paint?
Yeah.
So Roddy Piper, for some reason, decided to have half his face white and then put like a black coating on the other side of his face. So he had 2 personalities.
Yes, it was like an ill-informed decision for what he thought, I guess, was a cool promo where he's like half and half personalities. Doesn't age well.
Not at all.
But it gets worse.
It gets worse because have you heard the Andre the Giant story?
I have.
So apparently, when he was talking to people about doing this promo, like, yeah, you should do this. It'd be amazing.
You should totally do this.
You should do this, but you need to use this particular brand of like paint or makeup on your skin because they look good on camera. It didn't come off. Yeah,
like see, I'm always confused by this story because he says it didn't come off for like a week or weeks, but I'm like, you filmed regularly enough that I feel like we would have seen that afterwards. It kind of feels like one of those stories they might have told that was never actually true.
Apparently I had to get on the plane with it on though.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
To be fair.
It was a good thing. Obviously, I think they're both dead as well, because Bad News Brown, I'm pretty sure Bad News Brown's dead as well.
He may well be. I'm not sure.
It'd be shocking. I don't even want to go through here and work out.
Oh, no. Let's never do that. Let's live in...
Because I'm just scrolling down, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good. The Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, defeat the Bolsheviks, which is Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov.
It's in about 6 seconds, isn't it? It's really quick.
It's 19 seconds, according to this. But that might include intros, I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, probably.
It's probably during that intro when they used to sing, didn't they, the Bolsheviks? I don't think they're not even Russian, are they, those two?
No, neither, I don't think.
Which I think is the best thing.
Certainly Nikolai is definitely not. But
that was the best thing about 80s wrestling. They're the Russians. Like, they're just Americans with a really bad accent.
Well, we'll get to some of that in a moment. The Barbarian, again with Bobby. Bobby is busy, man. Bobby is so busy at Manias. He defeats Tito Santana by pinfall.
And that's pre-El Matador, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It's Tito at this point. Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire with Miss Elizabeth defeat Randy Savage and Queen Sherry. Now, of course, Randy and Miss Elizabeth used to be a thing. Now he's with Sherry. So yeah.
And I think everyone in that is unfortunately dead.
Every single person. Yeah. The Orient Express.
Oh, Mr. Fuji. I used
to
love
with Mr. Fuji. They defeat the Rockers. That is Marty Jannetty and, of course, Shawn Michaels.
Whatever happened to those two, eh?
Well, I guess we'll never find out.
I will never know.
I guess we'll never know as we go through the 90s what happened to that tag team.
We got good old Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Defeats Dino Bravo, who brought the Earthquake to the ring with him.
Yeah, it didn't help him though, did it?
No. Well, what's he going to do against a 2x4?
Yeah, exactly. You can't fight a 2x4.
That was just like a really soft bit of wood, didn't it? They used to sell that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it was rubber, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it would have probably broken, wouldn't it, if it was wood?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I only think about these things like 20 years later.
Yeah, I mean, when you were a kid, it didn't matter, did it? It was fun. Ted DiBiase with Virgil defeats Jake the Snake Roberts by countout for the $1 Million Championship.
Why didn't they say like Damien was with Jake the Snake?
Yeah, why doesn't he get a credit?
He should have some billing. Those are sort of two risks.
But then again, Coco's parrot didn't.
Frankie?
Either. Frankie, yeah, I think it was Frankie.
Why do I know that? Like
I don't know, it's random.
I can't remember like stuff someone told me like 2 weeks ago. But I can tell you that he had a parrot called Frankie.
Now, talking of race swapping, we have the Big Boss Man defeating Akeem.
Yeah,
with Slick.
I also only realised this the other day. Like Akeem, obviously, he was the one man gang.
He was,
but when he came Akeem, he was Akeem the African Dream.
Yes,
which I think was like a little rub on Dusty Rhodes the American Dream.
I think so. Yeah,
yeah. They had like I remember the promo videos going into it, like the vignettes. They had like Akeem, like obviously training to become Akeem.
Yeah,
like and it's all like bad taste. It's like you wouldn't get away with it these days. You probably should have got away with it back then.
No. I mean, it was just a more innocent, silly time, really. But yeah,
Boss Man. I used to like Boss Man.
I loved Boss Man.
Good theme.
My favorite Boss Man, controversially, is Body Armor Boss Man.
Oh, from that Attitude Era.
Attitude Era, when he got the. What the Shield ended up doing. When he did that, I thought he looked so cool with the nightstick, spinning the nightstick.
He was also in shape as well, then, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He was in good shape.
He lost a lot. He used to be like 400 pounds. Like, if you go back...
he got big.
Yeah.
He did get big at one point. Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan.
Busy Bobby Heenan.
He defeats Jimmy Snuka in singles.
Yeah. I used to like Snuka back in the day, but obviously
used
now...
to like Snuka before he...
And again, looking now... All three of them passed away. This is horrible. They're all gone, aren't they?
Well, 50% of the main event are still around.
Let's talk about this main event. It's a big one.
Yeah. The Ultimate Warrior, Intercontinental Champion, goes up against Hulk Hogan, the WWF Champion.
Yeah.
This is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, in WWF history, both titles on the line.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, it's a winners takes all match. Right?
Both face or good guys. And
whoever wins both titles.
Yeah.
And then will, for reasons unknown, just give one away immediately after.
The rubbish one.
But fine, you can have that one. Don't worry about it.
Don't want that one anymore.
But this was huge because they were both good guys.
Yeah.
Right? Both face. And, for the first time ever, WWF is getting you to pick a side.
Which we never got. It was always Hulk rolls, bro.
Not for me.
I know. It was up back in the day. I'm thinking. I used to think that was an amazing match, best match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. As a kid, it was.
But you go look at it.
It's awful.
I bet it's like headlocks in.
It's really slow. Yeah. It's really quite rubbish. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the time, it was all about the gimmick.
Do you remember the ending?
Yeah, of course.
And do you remember, like, obviously Warrior wins, which we know, spoilers. But what did Hogan do at the ending?
Hogan complains, first of all, like he's been cheated, even though he wasn't cheated, and the ref counted normally, and he just lost.
Yeah.
But Hogan kind of acts like, oh, it's a travesty.
Yeah,
brother. Then he goes to leave.
Yeah.
Then I think he realised the cameras were on Warrior.
Yeah.
And he thought, doesn't work for me, brother. So he goes round, picks up the title, comes back into the ring, and gives the title to Warrior.
Tries to steal the show.
And then all of the way out, he's like crying and looking all sad to his Hulkamaniacs.
Well, obviously, I've got a bag down there.
You do have a bag down there.
I'm going to get the bag a second. Wait
All
for
right.
this.
Okay. So Nick has brought a bag as a surprise here. Oh my God.
I currently have in my hand is a Hulk Hogan's autobiography from 2002 called Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Are you going to read me a passage?
I've got a passage in here.
Go on.
About that exact moment, if I can just find where I put it.
The night that Hulkamania died the first time.
It's chapter 36.
Jesus Christ.
More big matches. I'll read it out for you. It's only like a couple of pages long, so I'll get it out there. It's too much, really. We're just going to skip through it. Basically, this is Hulk Hogan's story about the Warrior.
Okay.
How the Warrior was...
This is before they made up.
This is like...
This is when they did get
This
on.
is when everyone hated the Ultimate Warrior. He said the Ultimate Warrior was the most chiseled bodybuilder to come into the wrestling business. He was ripped, brother. Cut to the bone, brother. I always thought he was a bodybuilder.
Hang on, sorry.
Brother.
I'm sorry. Has he actually written brother?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he has. Okay.
Brother.
So this is written by him.
Yep.
And he wrote the brothers in.
Yeah. Well, he's written by Michael J. Friedman, but it's probably Hogan like saying brother a lot. There's a lot of brothers in this. And he said, I thought he was just a weightlifter. He didn't say brother then. But when this guy came in, he blew me away. He was like doing his whole diet his entire life, but I was like drinking and raising hell with the boys. Like Metallica, because I was in Metallica. He didn't put that in there.
He was the bassist for Metallica once.
Apparently, yeah. The way he was weird is like he had interest in Mystique. He'd also write the Mighty Warriors in Heaven, stuff like that. He had a good rap. When he got into the ring, he rang, he shook the ropes. But that's when he had no game. He had no wrestling psychology. And that was all about, he was like creating emotion. Great guy, nice guy, flash in the pan. Hogan continues. Vince wanted the Ultimate Warrior to beat me for the belt. I didn't agree with Vince. I didn't think he could carry the load. Then maybe Vince didn't give me a choice in the matter. Because he didn't have, like, back in the day, you couldn't decide what was going on.
Yeah.
You couldn't veto it. So I told Vince, if he's going to beat me, I need a break, brother. I'm hurt. So I took some time off and I thought, yeah, I'm human. I can only push myself so far. I kept wrestling, but my attitude started to suck. So Vince said, give the title to the Warrior. It's because he could see down the road, you might not be able to depend on Hulkamania, and he'd need to switch gears. So Hogan, bigging himself up, pushing the Warrior
just a
down.
bit.
I agreed that I should lose the belt to the Warrior, but we'd make it a hell of a match.
Well, you say well, he says that.
Yeah.
It is. It's like 20 odd minutes long, 26 minutes or something, for an Ultimate Warrior match, which usually lasts about a minute and a half. That's insane.
Yeah, it is. So he continues.
And I do wonder if that was on purpose on Hogan's part.
Oh, Hogan.
Where he was like, I can make him look bad if we
Yeah.
stretch this out.
Yeah, it was like, I agreed I'd lose the belt. I made sure we had a hell of a match. Just so it looked like it was over. I kicked out of his finisher, and then I pinned him, and then he kicked out of my finisher. And this is where he goes, talks about the bit at the end of the night. At the end of the night, the referee was supposed to get the belt from the timekeeper and give it to the Warrior. But this is my chance to steal back everything that he'd gotten from me. So I zipped over to the timekeeper, ripped the belt out of his hand, walked up to the ring apron. Didn't say brother, but I want to say brother. So I walked up to the ring apron, brother, with the belt. Looked up at God, shook my head, yes. Walked into the ring and handed the Ultimate Warrior the belt. As I left the arena, 68,000 people in the Sky Dome watched me go. The Ultimate Warrior held his head over the boat, held the belt over his head, and no one cared about the Ultimate Warrior. Which is nice. Not very nice, is it? Turned out I was right about the Ultimate Warrior. He couldn't carry the load as the champion. Not the way Hulk Hogan had. He refers to himself as Hulk Hogan as well in there. Vince attempted to move in a different direction. Didn't work. So he had the Warrior drop the title to Sergeant Slaughter. The end. Then we go on about Sergeant Slaughter, but we got that for next year. So the Warrior, Hogan, is a dick.
Yes.
A massive dick, isn't he?
Yeah, he might be right about the Warrior not being able to carry the title, though, to be fair. As much as I want to disagree, the Ultimate Warrior was not the best wrestler. But I've realised something, that as a kid, it didn't matter.
No.
All that mattered was the look and the gimmick. Because I used to think...
It's like Goldberg, isn't it?
Yeah, like Goldberg. I used to think the Warlord was amazing, because he was bigger than Warrior.
That's
all that matters, right? That's all that matters. Like, well, he's even bigger, so that makes him better.
So do you reckon that was like actual hard work down the gym?
I think it's a combination, right? Because the Warlord, last time I saw him, he still looks massive.
Yeah.
Like,
he's still a big boy.
I think you can't get like that without training pretty hard down the gym, but there's definitely some enhancement going on with those guys. I mean, when you see the Bulldog in the 90s,
oh god,
oh my goodness, it's
pecs, isn't it?
ridiculous. Absolutely
It's their arm.
ridiculous.
It's their pecs and arms. You can see it. It's like
crazy.
Normal.
And then you see when Warrior comes off in like 92, you see Warrior without the roids, and he's like still a huge guy, really cut, but it's like, yeah, clearly you're off the roids now. Hogan, when his NWO WCW time, you can see he's given up the roids again.
Yeah, Finner. The whole Warrior thing when he comes back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Finner, that's when they'll all rumor about the Warrior dying and there's a different Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's just come off the roids.
He's just literally given up the roids, that's all it is.
And he's now Finner. He's probably like got more movement.
Yeah.
He's not gonna,
it didn't improve his wrestling much.
No,
to be
I
honest.
don't think anything could.
So that was WrestleMania 6. Obviously, we've got many WrestleManias to come in the 90s, but that was the big one of my childhood.
Yeah.
And the big one of Edge's childhood, right? Edge is in the
he's in the crowd, isn't he?
In the crowd for this one, and future WWE champion.
Yeah.
Did he do F? I don't
No,
think he did F.
They got the F out in 2002.
They got the F out. Yeah. So, shall we move on to movies?
Let's hit some movies.
Let's do some movies, and we have this month in the UK, The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, we have.
I think a brilliant film.
Yeah,
still holds up. I think it's one of the best examples of that kind of chase spy thriller movie. Tom Clancy, who is a great writer, I think undeniably, and I think this is one of the best adaptations of Tom Clancy's work.
Yeah,
I know we were joking earlier about the Russian lack of Russians because you've got this Scottish Russian captain in Connery. I actually think it works better this way. I think the movie works better like this because as the movie opens, they are speaking in Russian. And then it goes from Russian into English. So it's kind of that transition. So we hear that they're Russian, and then we change over to their language. I cannot imagine how much worse this film would be if you were expecting Sean Connery to do a Russian accent, or heaven forbid, actually speak Russian. It would have been terrible. I think it works better this way. I think despite the kind of fun poked at Connery for this role, I think he's tremendous. Baldwin's amazing. Great movie.
And also, we got some spin-offs out of it as well, didn't we? And prequels. The whole Jack Ryan thing, just like...
I mean, it pretty much, in terms of movies and TVs, this pretty much started, I think.
Yeah, I think there's 4 Jack Ryan films.
They're all played by different... Jack Ryan's a different guy every time.
Harrison Ford was him, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck was Jack Ryan. And there's a TV one, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, guy from The Office.
Which is weird, isn't it?
I forget his name. He's great though,
but like it's
really good.
What I was thinking about now, like now, back then, Tom Clancy. If it's a Tom Clancy, it's a Tom Clancy film. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Like now, if you think what's Tom Clancy now, it's a game because it's
I guess
Rainbow Six,
Ghost Recon.
Yeah, they're all everything is now like all comes from Tom Clancy.
He's done well for himself as Tom Clancy. But yeah, a great movie. On the other end of the spectrum, still great, but in a very different way.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I love Bill and Ted.
Me too. I have such fond memories of this film. And for me, it's funny being as old as we are because you see now everyone thinks like Keanu Reeves is like the coolest guy.
Yeah.
Such a badass.
He's a dork.
He will always be. It will always be Bill and Ted for me from both of those guys.
Yeah.
Like it's I can't separate it. And of course, I can't not mention the excellence of George Carlin, who, for me, the biggest issue with the latest film I had really was the lack of Rufus. Obviously, couldn't be helped. George Carlin had passed by then. I just feel like you can't have Bill and Ted without George Carlin. He's a key point of those films.
Do you want to explain the plot of Bill and Ted for people who've not seen Bill and Ted?
Dorky kids, like rockers, in the 90s. One has a military family.
Yep.
The other, I can't remember what the others is. Like kind of posh family. Both families look down on their son as failures. They're failing at school. All they want to do is their band, the Wild Stallions. And no one sees the Wild Stallions as being good because they're not. They're actually shit.
No, they are, yeah.
They are actually shit. So, turns out, in the future,
They're not shit.
They're not shit. Their music saves the world. The universe? The world, for sure. Maybe the universe. At some point in the future. Now, someone starts meddling with time. And as a result, they need to go... They send George Carlin, Rufus, goes back in time to get Bill and Ted because everything hinges on them passing their tests at the end of this year.
It's a history exam, isn't it?
History exam. And if they fail it, I believe... that Bill is getting sent off to the army.
Yep.
Right? Or Ted. Bill.
The other has to get a job, doesn't he?
Yeah, the other has to get a job. And he's going to ruin everything because then he won't have time for the Wild Stallions. They'll be separated, right? So they have to pass this test. And the idea is that in order to pass the test, they are given a time machine. Looks like a phone box.
Yeah.
It's a homage, I think, to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And they're going to go back in time. And in theory, I think the plan is... they're just going to go back and learn from people in the past.
Yeah.
What actually happens...
they take them with them.
They take them with them, with no ramifications. They just remove people from the history and bring them to the future.
I think hopefully they drop them off afterwards. I've got the list of people they grab.
There's a lot of... These whole movies all rely on that. Oh, I'll fix it later so it doesn't matter now. Like, I love the gag that they do in this movie and the next movie where they set up a trap and they get out of a trap by being like, oh, well, but I'll go and do this when I get out. And I love that.
Yeah, before I've done this, I'll go back and pass.
Yeah, and
I'll put a key in my pocket.
Yeah.
And then I'll unlock the key in this house, but I'm going to do this. But no, I'm doing this.
It is brilliant.
It's good. So in the past, they go and get a motley crew of people to help them with their exam, which is like an oral exam. So they got Beethoven, Joan of Arc, Freud, Lincoln, Genghis Khan, Socrates, or they call him Sauerkrats, Billy the Kid, and Napoleon. It's all going quite well until they come back in time with everybody, but they end up getting taken to the police station, and everyone escapes. Yeah, and they end up at a local mall. Yeah, with hilarity.
By the way, the history oral exam at the end,
it's really good.
They introduce everyone.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, yeah, but you needed to pass this exam, not bring random cosplayers in that look like... Because they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, that's actually Socrates. Yeah. Like, you know.
You've done your research, we're going to let you pass. Yeah. Then, like, the evil people turn up at the end after they do that. Yeah. But it all gets sorted at the end. And then they go away to practice, come back with their two girlfriends and kids, and now they're the greatest band ever. Yeah, well, that will come in Bogus Journey. Yeah. Which I actually kind of think I prefer... I love Death. Yeah, Death's a really good character. You know, and Station, you know, Evil Bill and Ted, isn't it? Evil Bill and Ted. And of course we realise how they get good. Yeah. Which is genius. They just go back in time and practice for ages until they become good. I love that. And they come back with ZZ Top beards. Fantastic. Yeah. It's a good little story. Look Who's Talking also comes out this month. A movie that I think has been a bit lost to time. Yeah. Because Look Who's Talking was huge when it came out. Yeah, the main characters. It was massive. Actors. And it was like a really popular film that nobody ever talks about. Yeah. It's like it happened, and then no one talked about it. We got a sequel, Look Who's Talking 2, and Look Who's Talking Now, which was the animals. Yeah. Right? I don't think I've ever seen that one. I've definitely seen. I don't want to see it. Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking 2, but I don't know if I've seen the one with the animals. I've got some fond memories of that. Yeah, me too. I remember the intro is all the semen or the sperm or yes, in America, it's a great opening. It's a great opening. It's like all like talking to each other as they all move along now. It is a brilliant opening to the movie. Got a bit of a fact about that film as well. In the UK, it's got a cut. Really? Yeah, they cut out one use of the word fuck during the birth. Oh, okay. Because so obviously you had to get a PG over here, and they can't really have fucks and PGs. No. We still got our swear warning, so I've said fuck 4 times. We got a swear warning? Yeah, we did at the start, don't we? This is an 18 rated podcast. It may contain sexual swear words. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I thought you meant we were trying to not swear. I was like, I've never done that. That's not a rule I ever agreed to. Swear. So that's a great film. It is a great film. We also have Christmas Vacation in fucking April. Yeah. Speaking of swearing. That really threw me when I saw that was coming out. Yeah, they just used to stick to that, like, well, you get it delayed thing, regardless of logic. It's like, how much more money do you think
Christmas Vacation would have made if you released it in November.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay.
Delayed it for the rest of the year because it came out in November in America.
Yeah, I guess you could have, or just delayed it by a month.
We didn't have the internet
December.
back then, so we didn't know what spoilers were. We'd have just waited for it.
That's true. We never would have known.
Basically, the story is here. The Griswolds, after their adventures, going to Wally World, going to like Europe.
I used to love National Lampoons.
Great.
I did.
It's a great film. But now they're going to have a Christmas celebration.
They are. And one of the most memorable as well.
But the old relatives are coming around.
Yeah.
Obnoxious family guests. But, you know, what he's like, he's got Clark, he's got to have a Christmas spirit. So he keeps doing things keep going wrong.
Yeah.
And he's a bit worried that his Christmas bonus is due soon, which he needs his bonus to pay for this massive party he's throwing.
Yeah.
In the end, it all works out well. And I've also got some facts.
A lot of fun along the way, though.
Yeah. Do you want some National Lampoon facts?
Go for it.
Chevy Chase broke his finger during one of the scenes.
Which scene, do we know?
Punching a snowman.
Okay. How do you break your finger punching snow?
I don't know.
Brilliant.
But it was such a good take that they kept it in there.
Like Viggo Mortensen kicking the helmet
like in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It should be held as the same. Also,
do you not think it's probably more the case that he broke his finger and it really hurt and he was like, I think that's the perfect take. I think we should. I don't think I should do that again.
I'm not going to do that take again.
Do you know what? I think I did that in one.
It was a good one. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Also, another film to have a cut as well. They cut 2 seconds of swearing.
Oh.
Again, it's the fuck world.
Mm.
Basically, there's a line in it, and he says, "We're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap dance with Danny fucking K." You don't know who Danny fucking K is over here, I think.
No, that's true.
Probably in America you might know this, but they cut it. But it's back in the Blu-ray version.
Huh, okay.
Bit of a weird one, because now it's more acceptable to swear, isn't it?
Now they can stick uncut.
Yeah, one more quick fact. Yeah.
Go on.
Do you remember the theme?
We got all the time in the world.
Do you remember the theme to National Lampoons?
I do.
Holiday Road? Do you know who sings it?
No.
Lindsay Buckingham.
No.
From Fleetwood Mac.
Wow. I did genuinely...
Not Fleetwood Mac anymore, they got booted out 2 years ago, but like...
I genuinely didn't know that.
Nor did I.
Huh.
It's a great theme. It's one of my favourite,
Well, Fleetwood Mac as we knew them, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a film called Next of Kin.
Yep.
Patrick Swayze.
I've seen it.
I don't think I have. I was looking at it and I was like, I don't recognise this film at all.
I got good memories. I actually discussed this film in work months ago. We were talking about bad films with Patrick Swayze, and I was like,
Steel Dawn.
Yeah. Have you ever
it's
seen
one of my favourites.
Next to Kin? And it was like, it doesn't exist. I was like, yeah, there's all about these hillbillies. So basically, Patrick Swayze is a detective. He's a Chicago cop called Truman. Each of his family members are really...
That's a rubbish name. He needs to be called like Rex.
Yeah, all the family got names like that. Basically, one of his brothers...
Rex Magnum or something.
One of his brothers is a hillbilly called Brer.
He's going to die, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, not Brer doesn't die. One of the other brothers dies.
I was going to say because it's next of kin, so I assume...
Yeah, so Brer, along with Truman, set out to find the killer of his brother. So unfortunately, the killer is mob-related.
Mm.
So it goes on for quite a while. Ends up, the entire hillbillies, decide to go back to the hillbilly roots, including Truman, the Chicago cop, and go and fight the mafia. It's got like a nice little story when they're preparing, like all the wives of the hillbillies, they're making their sandwiches for them to take, making all their food, putting their drinks together in flasks, and the hillbillies just like rock up and take them all out. There's a really good scene on like one of them takes his van now, or is like his coach, and one of the mob guys goes on to get away. It's full of snakes. Snakes get him.
Brilliant.
It's a true like where Patrick Swayze was like making. Well, I'd say they're good films, but they're probably shit films.
Well,
is up there.
I think he had great success in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then I think his career did take a bit of a dive because he was doing stuff like Steel Dawn, which to this day, I mean, I do like Steel Dawn. It's not a good film, but I do like it. Post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
With swords.
When's Ghost come out? It's after this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's after. So I suspect that his career was a bit, because I'm still convinced they only called it Steel Dawn because of Red Dawn.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we can like make some money off of this because it's got Patrick Swayze and we can put Dawn in the title. But I think his career was a bit on the rocks, and then Ghost happened and kind of picked him back up. Which we'll see with certain other actors. Michael Caine in the next couple of years. He will end up doing Steven Seagal movies until the Muppets save his career. But we'll get to that next year. So Next of Kin, I don't think I've seen. I'm going to have to watch it now because it sounds terrible.
It's like one of those 90s action films you need to watch because it's just so stupid.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of other films. You would have heard of one of them, but not the other.
My cat is currently eating at Nick's feet, by the way.
It's kind of tickling my toes.
Yeah. He's eating a snack.
There's a film called The Lambada. Do you remember The Lambada dance?
No, I remember the dance. I don't remember the film, though.
I looked at this, apparently about 4 films within 2 years called The Lambada.
Jesus.
But this is the best looking one.
Okay.
Right. Kevin Liard is a Beverly Hills school teacher by day, and he's a mystery man by night.
A mystery man?
Yeah. So he starts using these Lambada dance moves to earn the kids' respect and acceptance. Says they don't like teachers, do they? They just take the piss out of them.
No. I've seen Dangerous Minds.
Yeah, but now he teaches them academics. But then a jealous student exposes Kevin's double life.
What's his mystery life?
Oh, he's the Lambada dancer. He's a sexy dancer.
Oh, I thought you said he was like a... When you said I thought he was like a spy. You were like, he's a man of mystery.
No,
I was like, okay.
He does sexy dances.
Okay, he just does sexy dance. Okay.
Yeah, and it ends like he threatens to like say, look, I can tell everyone. So say, I don't care. I'm a teacher. I'm a dancer. And that's how it ends. It's not a very good film. Then I was like thinking, I wonder if
that's not a plot.
It's not, is it? But this is the 90s we're talking about.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's probably a poor film. And we've also got, I don't know if you picked this one up, the release of The Craze. You got that?
Yes, I do have The Craze here as a release in the UK, yeah.
So you got the got Martin and Gary Kemp, the Kemp brothers.
Yeah.
From Spandau Ballet.
Mm-hmm. I think do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things you never would have thought.
Yeah.
Until... I mean, for me, I think this was the first time I'd seen them acting.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen them in soaps, obviously. One of them in soaps. But this was the first time I'd seen them in a movie, and I was like, they're actually really good.
Yeah, I remember watching this film.
I've seen impressed.
It's still quite a good film. I feel it probably still stands up because
reasonably.
It's all about all the craze. Little fun fact here: Reggie Cray used to write regular fan letters to Martin Kemp.
Brilliant.
So if you're Martin Kemp and you've obviously played the craze and you're getting letters from Reggie Cray,
you've done all right.
You'd have to write back, wouldn't you?
There's
no way you could not write back to Reggie Cray back in the day.
I would suggest you'd write back. Yes.
That's me, movie related. Have you got any other movies?
Monsieur Hire is the only other movie. I have no idea, but that was in the list. I didn't focus on it because I didn't recognize it, but apparently was released in April of 1990.
I did have one called Courage Mountain.
What is that?
It's a modern day remake of Heidi. Heidi the...
Oh, okay.
But Charlie Sheen's in it.
Brilliant.
But he's playing normal Charlie Sheen.
It's one of the worst names for a film I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Courage Mountain.
But they do some mountain climbing, but it's no cliffhanger.
Right.
Yeah, so that was like... Who'd watch that? Like, I reckon it's been binned. I don't think you can buy it on DVD now.
I'll tell you what. Given the competition in April of 1990...
I wouldn't have released that.
I certainly wouldn't be watching it.
True.
I mean, The Hunt for Red October, Bill and Ted, The Craze, Look Who's Talking, Christmas Vacation. There's like 5 movies that I absolutely would want to see.
There's an Oscar winner in here as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, no chance. Let's move on.
Got some music?
I've got a little bit of music for you.
Okay, then. So if we hit the number 1 singles, carrying on over from last month.
Top 10?
Yeah, we got some top 10. We got some new releases. We got everything.
Do you want to count down the top 10?
Or I've got new releases in the top 1. So if I do do your top 10, and I'll talk about new releases.
Okay. So in at number 10, The Family Stand, Ghetto Heaven.
I don't know that.
Me either. In at number 9, Business. It's spelled business.
What, B-I-Z?
Yeah, B-I-Z-Z. Business. I'm assuming it's bee's knees, though. That would make more sense to me. But who knows? Don't Miss the Party Line, which I think I know the song. I like, in my head, I know the song.
Yeah.
In at number 8, Heart. All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You.
Yeah. I recognise that.
It's a hit. Cover, it's a banger. I think so. It's not a song I immediately think of when I think of Heart. I always think of like These Dreams or Alone.
Yeah, Alone.
So it's up there. Adamski, Killer, number 7.
Yeah, like that. The one goes boom, 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 boom. Is it that one? I think so.
The Happy Mondays are in at number 6. Step On.
Yep.
Number 5, banger. UB40, Kingston Town.
Yeah.
This was a car classic when I was a kid. This was always on in the car. So fond memories.
I think that's like
Kingston Town.
That song's the national anthem of Birmingham, apparently.
Is it really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Anytime there's a party when you were younger, the parents used to whack on a bit of reggae, put on a little bit of UB40.
Yeah.
Kingston Town.
I used to enjoy UB40 as a band. I never listened to anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we used to have it on in the car. I used to quite like him.
Obviously, it's tarnished for me after last month's story in the UB40 roadie. So
Oh yeah, of course. That is in our March roundup. If you ever want to listen to that story,
That's a good story.
Number 4, I have Snap the Power.
Yeah. Previous number 1.
Previous number 1. I have number 3, Paula Abdul and the Wild Pair. Opposites Attract.
That's the video with the cartoon cat, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 2, absolute banger. I think
I don't like
probably
this song.
responsible for many babies being born in this year.
I think probably also responsible for loads of bad karaoke as well.
Definitely responsible for a lot of bad karaoke, but this is a baby making song.
Yeah.
Black Velvet.
Yeah.
And number 1, classic Madonna Vogue.
We played that the other month at Danger Zone,
Well,
didn't we?
I took shit for not playing it. You played it.
Yeah, we were thinking, no one's going to know what it is.
I was up for playing it, just not at the time that they requested it because, it just wasn't the time. But we got there in the end. Yeah, we did play Vogue.
It didn't fit in at the time.
No.
Yeah, so I've got fond memories of Vogue. It's a good song.
Me too.
I've also got some other new releases during the month of April.
Come on, what's coming in? Because they may affect future months.
They may do. We got Technotronic with This Beat is Technotronic, which is a bit of a dance banger. You probably recognise it if it got played.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Jones with Real.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, there was a bit of a 90s theme. You had the Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
You had the Spiral Carpets last month. It's all a bit earlier than I thought it was.
I agree. I thought mid. I was mid 90s. But
so I was like, really? That's that early? So we must have had Britpop by about 94. So that all sort of been binned off by then. So those are your some of your new releases. We've also got, for some reason, I think I remember at the time, one of the Radio 1 DJs, for some reason, kept playing the song from the Blues Brothers, Everybody Needs Somebody.
It's a tune.
It is. I really like it. I remember my dad's got the CD soundtrack.
So did it come back into the charts?
It came back in the charts, yeah.
Brilliant.
It did quite well. Probably Steve Wright or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Pushed it because they could get away with whatever they want back in the day, didn't they?
Absolutely. This was back when radio DJs pretty much controlled that.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, whatever I play. Because nowadays, I think people take it for granted now. Yeah. It's all online.
Yeah.
You can make anything chart. People can start their own campaigns to make things chart. Back then, we were taping stuff off the radio. I remember making mixtapes off the radio, skipping the ads and, all that stuff. I got so quick.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I got so quick with that pause and record and
stop.
So good. But they controlled that.
Yeah.
All of them. It's like, hey, if they wanted to bring back, they were like, hey, do you know what I really like? I really like
Wired for Sound by Cliff Richard.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, which will actually come back in the charts, I think, because of Wayne's World. But they could control that and just be like, hey, I'm gonna make that happen.
I'm gonna bring you back. So we've also got as well From Out of Nowhere by Faith No More, which is a tune.
Now you're talking. Yeah, we are heading crashing into grunge. Of course, Bleach came out the year before, 1989.
Yeah, so we're gonna get.
So we're about to hit grunge mania.
All the big bands are coming out. Also, Phil Collins jumping back in again because he can't get off the charts.
He can't stay out of the charts.
It's Something Happened on the Way to Heaven.
Brilliant.
Don't know that one?
No, me either.
Soul to Soul.
I'm happy for him, though.
Yeah. Soul to Soul, A Dreamer's Dream.
Nice.
Can't remember that. They're a person I don't really like because I'm quite I hold grudges against artists I don't like.
Oh, what did they do? What did their roadie do to you?
I just hate them.
Okay, why? Okay.
Morrissey.
Oh, no. Well, isn't he racist?
He is, but I hate him for that.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, I didn't have any reason to hate him until he became racist.
When November spawned a monster. I have a thing where if I think fans of bands are like dickheads, I don't like that band. Like Tool.
Yeah.
A lot of their fans are dickheads. I can't stand Tool.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. It kind of rubs off on you.
Yeah, it does. And I think I hate the band because of you. And
I'm always careful. I always think I'm super careful which bands I listen to after breakups or during bad times in your life because you're like, I don't want to sully this band that I really like.
I don't want
this
to ruin
bad
that
time.
song because I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
And
so I guess it's the same. If fans of those bands are assholes, it kind of
it sticks on you.
Yeah, that's fair.
We also got
and anyway, he's racist, so fuck him.
He is. Also, not racist. We got the lovely band En Vogue with Hold On.
Oh, nice.
Do you remember En Vogue?
I vaguely.
Yeah, if you played it, if I played it to you, you'd know who they are. Like a big soul American group. Did a lot of stuff with Salt and Pepper, early 90s as well.
Nice.
They were quite good. So on the album charts, we had 2 albums that were number 1. Obviously, Greatest Hits by the Carpenters.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good album.
Yeah.
I find it a bit weird that they allow greatest hits to go to number one.
I always think it's weird, isn't it? I guess they can't discriminate, can they? They're like, well, it's a number one. But I always feel like you should have a chart where you're like, well, it's a greatest hits though. Like
you're robbing someone of being number one.
Yeah, like if Queen does a greatest hits.
Yeah. Again.
But this happens. It goes to number one. Yeah. Like, Michael Jackson. We're going to release, long after his death, we're going to release some, money, best of Michael Jackson. Yeah. And it will inevitably get top 10, possibly even up to number one. It's like, but does that really count? Because that's someone's entire work through their career. Yeah. Like, it shouldn't be put next to albums that I made last month.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's like, but like they sell well, so it's what makes some money, isn't it? There. Yeah. And then we also
there should be a best of chart.
Yeah, that'd work.
Who's the best of the best?
It'd be Queen and ABBA, wouldn't it?
And Jackson probably.
Oh yeah, they'd rotate them.
Maybe the Beatles.
Elvis. There's too many now.
There are quite a few.
It's tough now, isn't it?
Yeah.
They got knocked off by Fleetwood Mac with Behind the Mask.
Good.
Yeah, I had a quick look at that
love
album.
Fleetwood Mac.
There's something that jumped out at me that I can remember straight away. But
I feel like it's probably one of those albums. If we heard the songs, we'd be like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, that'd be a good one." So we have some other new entries throughout the month. Some big bands here. Do you remember They Might Be Giants?
Vaguely.
They sang like...
I am the worst with music, by the way. I'm a film guy.
Yeah, so They Might Be Giants sang like Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they did that in Constantinople song. Well, if Emmett's listening to this, I remember Emmett was a massive fan.
Well, there you go.
So Emmett, if you're listening to this, correct us in a way only you can.
Do a correction.
Yeah, so then we got Heart, what an album called Brigade.
Fantastic band.
They are a great band, Heart, with some massive all-time bangers.
Yes.
They're a new release, Beats International, what an album out. You remember last month they were number one in the singles?
They were. Was that a single from this album, I'm assuming?
It was, yeah. ABC with Absolutely. I think they're an 80s band.
Mm-hmm.
Alana Miles. With Alana Miles, she did Black Velvet.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce her surname?
I believe so.
We'll take that then. That's a winner. Sonia.
I thought you said Take That. I was like, oh, and Take That?
Take That.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sonia. Do you remember Sonia? She was like
I do remember Sonia,
ginger Liverpudlian.
Yeah.
She's not Sonia from EastEnders.
No, different Sonia.
Quite lucky because I've got Sonia, then I go straight to TV for EastEnders, so that could have got confusing. She played the trumpet. Also, a real good album, Public Enemy, Fear of the Black Planet. It's a great album.
Fantastic.
So that is my music roundup for April 1990.
And I think...
Oh, I missed something. Have you got something?
No. I was going to say, I think that pretty much brings us to the end. I do have some video games.
We're going to hit them with some games.
I got 2 video games. We have Wonder Boy 3. You were saying, I believe, last month how much you loved the Wonder Boy series and how great it was. I was saying I love the Wonder Boy series. I also loved Adventure Island, which obviously was like a reskinned version of Wonder Boy over here. Fantastic games. And also a classic for me.
Dizzy.
Fantasy World Dizzy. One of the best Dizzy games. For me, before Mario and before Sonic, that stupid fucking egg was my guy.
He was good.
He was my boy. So I have such fond memories of Dizzy. It's to explain Dizzy, it's like a platformer, but mixed with an adventure game.
Yeah.
And it was hard as balls and often made no sense.
What was Dizzy?
He's an egg.
He's an egg with feet.
He's an egg with feet and arms and eyes and a mouth and a nose.
And a hat.
And a hat. Sometimes a hat. The hat changed depending on what he was doing.
Yeah.
But Dizzy, he's an egg.
Codemasters as well. They did some cracking games.
They did do some fantastic games back in the day. Obviously, I remember Fantasy World Dizzy from the C64. Yeah. It was ported to a lot of the micros and the 8-bits.
And I think it eventually made its way to a Mega Drive. Pretty sure.
Was Fantasy World? I know they did King of.
Might be that.
Oh no, actually no. Fantasy World did. It's behind you, I think. Actually, it did come to the Mega Drive eventually. One of the best ones for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, the Mega Drive one's really cool because they update the graphics and everything and make it look nice.
So, who do you think then would win a fight?
Dizzy dies. Whoever it is, whoever you're going to say, he's a fucking egg.
It's a freeway. So it's Dizzy, Wonder Boy, and Shinobi.
Well, they're having a fight.
Yeah, because they want to know who's the number one platformer of the 90s.
What, like, is it they're going to actually fight each other?
They're going to fight each other. So it's like...
Well, Dizzy's dead. I mean,
He's an egg.
Dizzy probably falls over on the way in and just cracks and dies.
Yeah. But like Alex Kidd hasn't got any of his special powers, so he's not got Shinobi powers.
Oh, sorry, it's Alex Kidd.
Yeah, and Wonder Boy as well. There's 3 of them.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant Shinobi. Actual Shinobi in the
not actual
Shinobi game.
Shinobi, no.
So you mean Alex Kidd?
Yeah,
So Alex Kidd,
from
Dizzy,
and Wonder Boy.
and Wonder Boy. Well, Wonder Boy wins.
Yeah,
Surely.
yeah, it's bound to it.
Alex Kidd's a bit of a dick.
He is, isn't he? He was like, as soon as Sonic came along, they were like, "Yeah, we know Alex Kidd's a dick. Alex Kidd's gonna."
Yeah, they were like, no, we tried. We
I wonder
tried.
when the
Alex.
last Alex Kidd game was.
Have
they brought him back?
I always remember they had a Mega Drive Alex Kidd,
Yeah,
which was nowhere near as good as the Master System ones, ironically. I don't know. I feel like they might have brought him back in like a more recent time. I know he's probably part of like Nintendo Smash Brothers now, you know, as all of those Sega characters end up, you know, porting over to that.
Disney's not part of it though, is he?
No, Dizzy, there's, you know, long rumored to be more Dizzy games in the works, but they did do a remaster of Yoke Folk, which you can get, King of Yoke Folk, which you can get on like iOS and Android and stuff. So Dizzy's still around.
Yeah.
I'd love a new Dizzy game. I think there was a Kickstarter that failed at some point. Wonder Boy, I think, is still going.
Yeah, there's a release recently. I saw it come up on the Switch.
Yeah.
So I think they've remastered him. In my head though, like Wonder Boy is a Sega boy. He's like, it was a Sega. Obviously, it's not. It was like a Sega franchise.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was. They must have sold him. Or
No, well, I mean, Adventure Island. I've got Adventure Island 2 on the NES down there.
It's a reskin, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my head, I just thought, oh, Wonder Boy Sega, Sonic Sega.
Yeah.
Bubsy the Bobcat, Sega.
Oh, Bubsy. Do you know I've got really fond memories of Bubsy, but when you go back and play it, it's not.
It's
good.
not. No,
it's not good at all.
I've not got fond memories of that game at all. Like
I do, but I it's one of those games where I have the fond memories, but I have played it more recently enough to know that I don't want to own it, and I'll just leave it in my memory.
I think I remember when I was working in a game shop when I first had my first ever Saturday job.
Yeah.
And it's like they used to have obviously like videos of games coming out on there on the old video player, and there was an ad for Bubsy the Bobcat, and I just remember you used to hear it all the time, and it used to really annoy me. And I think there's some sort of thing like he did some sort of pun at the end, and in my head I can still remember the pun, something more like a bridge too short or something like that, something more like a bridge too far, and I couldn't hear it's Bubsy's voice in my head. I can still hear it.
Can I skip ahead in the 90s very briefly to ask you a question?
Yeah,
this is the only time, just very quickly to ask a question, because we're talking about games that in your memory are good and you think might be shit. I'm going to ask you a question. Because in my head, this is the game I've often thought about picking up again. Because my memory of it is good, but I feel like it's going to be rubbish. Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, I think that's going to be rubbish.
So do I.
It's on the SNES, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Mega Drive as well.
Was it? I think I've seen.
I've got fond memories of it. Playing it around a friend, you know, it was a rental around a friend's house, and it was it was good fun. But I feel like it might be rubbish.
Did you just have to crash, or was it a platformer?
It was a bit of a platform. I think it was like a combination from memory, but who knows?
I reckon.
We'll assume it's rubbish. Correct us if we're wrong. In any case, that is April of 1990. We are kicking off now. I feel like we're kicking off.
Movies are big in the next few months.
We're heading into summer blockbuster. We've got past the Christmas lull.
Yeah.
April, WrestleMania,
World Cup,
Vogue. I mean, we're kicking.
The World Cup's coming up. Gaza's gonna cry.
I have also, as a result of, as you do when you look these things up, it comes up with the US stuff first. I've seen some US movie releases that are going to be coming over here soon, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're in for a good time. There's some great movies to come in 1990. But that is it for April. Join us
next month for May.
May of 1990.
There's no WrestleMania 6 in May, so we might be a bit disappointed.
Well, I need to find out what's going on in EastEnders.
Well, Dot, what will happen with Dot?
I remember the storyline now. I can't believe that memory has just popped in my head from
Nasty
doing
Nick
show.
is making 2 meals, not giving 1 meal to Dot. Dot's got the other meal.
Why could he possibly be doing that?
Is Ethel going to turn up with her Willie? Find out next month.
We'll find out whatever happened to that statue.
Oh yeah, the statue. And do you reckon it's with the plant plot from Neighbours that Joe Mangle?
It's broken. Joe Mangold broke it. He came over from Australia.
Broke Diane's naked statue.
Yeah.
It could be. And like plot some soaps that never got finished. There we go.
I can't believe he just gets away with it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fine.
We're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, brilliant. They could have at least had the Mitchells just, give him a bit of a kick.
Give him a hiding.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a
scare him off. Scare him out.
There's always a hiding back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think Frank didn't get one of the Mitchells, though, because they wound him up in episode 1.
But the Mitchells, they're a bit bad, right?
Yeah.
But they were like moral, right? So if they saw this, I feel like,
yeah,
you know,
there would have been a clip around the ear or
been
roughed up.
Just a bit, you know.
Don't know. It was
a bit rough and tumble.
Yeah. Chased in like Phil's Porsche or something, I don't know.
Well, Phil's Porsche is presumably getting repaired after last month.
After the wing mirror got knocked off, didn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, we will be back next time with May of 1990. Thank you for listening, everybody. We will catch you next time.
Good night.